The drugstore aisle is lying to you, and it is doing it with your own hope. Walk down the hair care aisle of any pharmacy in America, and you will pass 40 bottles promising thicker hair, fuller hair, regrown hair, and almost none of them will tell you how. The front of the bottle is a mood, an emotion, a promise. The back of the bottle is a chemistry exam. And the price tag has nothing to do with which ones work. Today we clear the whole aisle. Every shampoo marketed to thinning hair, what is actually inside, what the studies say, and the honest verdict, bottle by bottle. Some of these earn their shelf space. Some of it is expensive perfume for a scalp problem you do not actually have. Let us start. Ketoconazole first, because it is the only shampoo ingredient with a real foot in both worlds, medicine and cosmetics. Ketoconazole is an antifungal, the active ingredient in Nizoral, and it exists to kill the fungus that causes dandruff and seborrheic dermatitis, that itchy, flaky, tender scalp so many women develop after 50. The hair connection came later. Researchers noticed that ketoconazole also has a mild anti-androgen effect, quietly interfering with the very hormones that shrink follicles in female pattern loss. Small studies followed, showing slightly thicker hair with twice-weekly use alongside other treatments. Here is what most people miss. The strongest reason to use it is not the hormone effect, which is modest. It is the scalp health. An inflamed scalp is a hostile neighborhood for follicles, and calming that inflammation helps everything else you are doing work better. Should you buy it? Yes. It is around $10, used twice a week, and the generic 1% version is fine, which makes it the cheapest legitimately medicinal bottle on the entire hair care wall. If your scalp itches, flakes, or hurts along the part line, this is the first bottle in the basket. Caffeine shampoo next. The one that sounds like it was invented by a marketing department, because it partly was. The theory is real enough. Caffeine can stimulate hair follicle cells in a lab dish, and there is genuine science behind the idea. A 2024 study of a shampoo with caffeine and adenosine found improved hair density after 3 months, and 71% of participants were satisfied. So far, so promising. Now the fine print, and it matters enormously. That study was open label, meaning everyone knew they were using the treatment, which lets belief inflate results. And belief is a powerful ingredient in any shampoo study. The caffeine hair literature, overall, is small, mostly manufacturer-funded, and the contact time is the killer, because shampoo sits on your scalp for about 60 seconds before you rinse it out. And nobody has ever proven that 60 seconds is long enough for caffeine to soak through the skin and reach the follicle and do anything at all. Should you buy it? If you enjoy it as a shampoo, enjoy it. If you are buying it as a treatment, the evidence is thinner than the hair you are worried about. Treat it as a pleasant maybe, not a plan. Thickening shampoos, the biggest category on the aisle and the most misunderstood. Here is the truth nobody puts on the front of the bottle. Thickening shampoos do not grow hair, not one strand. What they do is coat the hair shaft with proteins and polymers, plumping each individual hair so it takes up more space, the same way a good coat flatters the body underneath. Your hair looks fuller because each strand is temporarily thicker, and the effect washes out with the next shampoo, and that is completely legitimate. Cosmetic volume is real volume, it photographs well, it buys confidence on a bad hair day, and for hair that is thinning but not gone, it genuinely helps. But call it what it is. It is honestly makeup for hair. Should you buy it? Yes, with realistic expectations and without loyalty to the expensive ones, because a $12 thickening shampoo and a $40 one are doing exactly the same chemistry with exactly the same polymers, and the $40 one smells slightly nicer while doing it. And one quiet upgrade nobody mentions, because it costs nothing to ask. Prescription strength ketoconazole, the 2% version, exists behind the counter, and for stubborn, itchy, inflamed scalps, it works meaningfully better than the over-the-counter 1%. A quick doctor conversation upgrades the same bottle, and many women with true seborrheic dermatitis need exactly that, not a shelf of new products. The shampoo stays humble, the results do not. Tea tree shampoo, the natural aisle favorite. Tea tree oil is a genuine antifungal and antibacterial, and for scalp conditions, dandruff, itch, buildup, it works reasonably well. There is one small study suggesting a tea tree formulation helped mild hair loss, but it was combined with other ingredients, so the tea tree cannot take the credit alone. What tea tree really offers is a clean, calm scalp, which, like ketoconazole, is the foundation everything else stands on. The caution: tea tree oil is a common contact allergen, and older skin is more reactive skin, so if your scalp stings or reddens, drop it, should you buy it. If your issue is itch and flaking rather than thinning, yes, it is a reasonable, gentler alternative. For regrowth, no, and no amount of label confidence changes that. Dry shampoo, the double agent on this shelf, deserves its honest paragraph. On the plus side, dry shampoo at the root adds grip and lift between washes, and fine hair holds texture better slightly day 2. On the minus side, and this is the part that Ken never says, a 2016 clinic report linked heavy daily dry shampoo use with scalp buildup and, in severe cases, scarring follicle damage, because the starch and propellant sit on the scalp and clog day after day. The dermatologist's consensus is moderation, a day or two between washes, applied to the hair, never scrubbed into the scalp skin, and washed out properly on schedule. Should you buy it? Yes, as a styling tool with manners. The women who get in trouble with dry shampoo are the ones using it to avoid washing entirely, and the scalp pays the fare. Volumizing mousse and its cousins. The styling shelf pretending to be treatment. A good mousse lifts the root, separates the strands, and makes the same amount of hair occupy more visual space. Used with a blow dryer and a round brush, it can genuinely transform how thin hair looks, which is why stylists keep it behind the chair. The polymer science in modern mousses is genuinely excellent. Should you buy it? Absolutely, and learn to use it well. Because the payoff per dollar is higher here than anywhere else on the aisle. Volume in a can, honest about what it is. Biotin shampoo, the one that makes me want to take the whole aisle aside for a quiet word. Biotin is the darling of hair marketing, printed on bottles in fonts 3 sizes too confident. Here is the problem. Biotin works on hair if, and only if, you are biotin deficient, and actual biotin deficiency is rare in people eating a normal diet. The studies behind biotin for hair loss in well-nourished women found essentially nothing. Worse, the biotin in a shampoo is not even being eaten. It is sitting on your scalp for a minute, doing nothing, being rinsed down the drain along with your money. The entire proposition is a marketing costume. Should you buy it? No. Not as a shampoo, not for hair loss, not at any price. This is the clearest skip on the shelf. There is a cousin category sneaking onto the same shelves, the anti-hair loss shampoo with saw palmetto or caffeine, marketed as DHT-blocking shampoo, priced at salon levels. The logic borrows from real medicine, blocking DHT at the follicle, but the delivery is the same problem as caffeine, contact time of about a minute, versus the hours a topical needs to absorb. If DHT blockade is your goal, the honest versions are a prescription conversation, not a $26 shampoo doing an impression of one. The aisle is full of molecules that work, wearing vehicles that cannot deliver them, and that sentence is worth remembering every time a new bottle announces a clinical ingredient. Clarifying shampoos, the deep cleaners, these use stronger detergents to strip product buildup, hard water minerals, and pollution off the hair shaft. For older hair, which is already drier and more fragile, this is a useful tool used occasionally, and a damaging habit used daily. Once every week or two, a clarifying wash resets the hair, so volumizing products actually work again. Should you buy it? Yes, the cheap one, used rarely. It is maintenance, not medicine, but your mousse and your volume will both thank you. Water quality, the invisible variable nobody on the aisle will ever mention, because you cannot sell it in a bottle. Hard water, which most homes have, deposits minerals on the hair shaft, leaving hair flat, dull, and harder to style, and older, finer hair shows it worst. A shower head filter, $40 once, removes the minerals before they land, and for a meaningful share of women, the honest volume gain from that single change rivals any thickening shampoo on this list. It is not growing a hair, but neither is anything else here, and it flatters every single thing you already own. Scalp scrubs, the newest arrivals, jars of salty paste promising to detox the follicle. The scalp does not need detoxing. That is not a thing. What a scrub can do is physically lift flaking and buildup, which feels wonderful, and exfoliate gently, which can help mild flaking. What it cannot do is open clogged follicles and release hair growth, because follicles are not pores, and hair is not blocked traffic. Used too hard, scrubs aggravate the very inflammation you should be calming. Should you buy it? As an occasional treat for a flaky scalp, fine. As a growth treatment, no, and be gentle with it. One technique note that upgrades every bottle on this aisle, free of charge, the double shampoo. Wash once to remove oil and product, wash again to let the active ingredients actually reach the scalp, and leave the second lather on for the full minute the caffeine and ketoconazole bottles quietly assume you are giving them. Most women rinse on contact and then blame the bottle. The bottle needed 60 more seconds, and the second lather is where the chemistry happens. Pair that with cool water at the finish, which smooths the cuticles so thin hair reflects light instead of scattering it, and the same products, used properly, outperform themselves. So here is the aisle, cleared and sorted. In the basket, Ketoconazole for scalp health, a fairly priced thickening shampoo for honest cosmetic volume, a mousse used well, and a cheap clarifying bottle for occasional resets. In the maybe pile, caffeine shampoo if you like it, tea tree if your scalp is itchy and not reactive. In the bin, biotin shampoo at any price, and anything promising detox. Before we close the aisle, one more word about how these bottles end up in your basket, because the shelf psychology is worth seeing once with clear eyes. The bottles with the shiniest hair photography are almost never the ones with the best chemistry, because the money that went into the photograph did not go into the formula. The words clinically proven on the front almost never describe the ingredient doing the proving, and the before and after photos look at the lighting, not the hair. The whole aisle runs on one quiet bet, that you will not turn the bottle around and read the back, where the actual ingredients sit in their honest little order of concentration. Women who learn to read the back of the bottle stop paying for the front of it, and that skill alone saves more per year than any single product on this shelf costs. So that is the pattern, simple once you see it. Nothing on this aisle grows hair. That is not the aisle where growing happens. That is the drugstore shelf on the other side, the one with minoxidil. This aisle makes the hair you still have look its best, and that job it does well, for prices that do not need to be high. The women with the best looking thin hair are not the ones spending the most. They are the ones who know which shelf does which job, and spend accordingly. Now you do too, and the next time a beautiful bottle promises you a ponytail, you will know exactly which side of the bottle to believe, which side of the shelf to buy from, and which 60 seconds of your next shower actually matter. The aisle is not your enemy, it is just a market, and you finally speak the language.